to the month of love.
And it is indeed. Welcome back. It's a Monday morning. The month of love is about.
Yes.
And of course, we talk about many things when it comes to love, especially courtship at this time, for those of you who are single out there, maybe thinking of getting into a dating thing. So the customs of dating and courtship have evolved drastically over the centuries. And in today's day and age, with all the different ways people can meet each other and get romantic or get into romantic relationships, it can seem almost impossible to know how to actually approach someone that you want to date or seal the deal with if the two of you have expressed an interest in each other. So how do you do it?
Exactly. So today we're asking the question, how do people meet potential partners today? Do you think you know how to seal the deal, or do you find your romantic prospects fizzle out as quickly as they begin? Of course, our relationship expert, Dr. Eve, is in the building to help us discuss this very hot topic. Our lines are open, so please do give us a call. That number is 021-430-9881 with your questions or your comments, and we will engage with you. This, might I add, is a very safe space, and we're here to help each other, and we're here to grow from this moment. So let's call, and of course, let's engage with Dr. Eve. How are you, Dr. Eve?
Great, nice to be here. I'm sorry I didn't get the memo.
No,
you look fabulous.
You look fantastic.
I should have some mustard somewhere.
Loving the flowers. You remind me of High Garden. But let's take a look at that post that you put up on Twitter.
I did.
Let's leave it that way for the cameras. But you asked the question about how people go about getting to meet their potential mates.
So I have to move myself,
Don't worry, I'll get it for you. So 18% say that they do so online. 42% of you said that you meet people in real life.
Wow.
And, well, 39% of you, which is quite a large number of you, say you've given up hope on meeting.
Exactly. So that's why I actually want to start. Do we really want to have relationships today? That's the question that I throw, the provocative question that I throw out.
Do you want to have relationships
Do you really want to have? Do you really want to find a partner? Because here we go. I mean, here is the evidence of it.
39%.
I've just given up. I've just given up. Why have people just given up?
Maybe they've given up, but not that they don't want it. They just don't believe that it's possible
100%,
anymore.
100%.
You know. But maybe we should start with a big question: is how have relationships and courting evolved over time? Because I feel like it's harder now. Than ever before.
And isn't that absolutely contradictory? Isn't that
100%.
contradictory?
What about being dragged by your hair out of a cave? That was hard.
No, but then at least, you know, a brother went for what he wanted and he dragged that woman to the cave.
Talking about no, Leanne, hold yourself back.
No,
please.
I'm with Leanne.
Yeah, he knew what he wanted and he went for it.
Poor woman with no choice and no consent, but at least she knew that she was lusted.
Yes, exactly. And the reason why I say he knew what he wanted and he went for it is the main issue that I have with dating today is men have so many options that they don't know what they want because there's so much, and they don't go for it because there's so much that they rather decide, you know what, why have one main meal when I can have all these side dishes at the same time?
Very valid point that you make. I just think being dragged by your hair out of a cave is
I get what you're saying. I get the cruelty factor, but what I'm speaking from the other point of view is at least he knew what he wanted.
Sorry, Dr. Eve, we'll continue with your comment.
I'm loving watching this interaction because you're raising all the pros and the cons around the whole dating thing right now. You know, you're spot on, both of you. So the courtship was like that, but courtship was really much more strategic back then, where there were families who were arranging for you to meet people, and it was all about politics and money and who's going to have more political power and who's going to have more farming and who's going to make more money if the two families actually get together.
I don't know if that has changed all that much when we have the concept of power couples these days, where you know, sometimes people date because they would make a great match together. They would because of their combined wealth or their combined status and what that could bring.
Influencers. I'm learning all about influencers. So two influencers get together, and what does that make? One big influence.
That word, just like, I'm sorry, influencers needs to be out in 2019, just saying. Anyways, we want to know, how do people meet potential partners today? Do you think that you know how to seal the deal, or do you find that your romances fizzle out as quickly as they begin? Our lines are open. As you can see, the lines are drawn, and we're officially taking your calls, 021-430-9881 with your questions and your comments for Dr. Eve. We'll be right back after this. Not the pulling of the hair part.
That's not cool.
The hair.
Yeah, All right, listen, the lines are open, 0214309881. As you can hear, it's a very heated topic. We're talking about relationships and how people go about meeting their potential mate, the ability that you have to seal the deal, as we've been saying, and how you go about that. That's why Dr. Eve is here. And there's, oh man, it's such a massive topic.
It is a massive topic because so many people are feeling lonely. We spoke about that last week.
Yes.
People are opting to be single, which is why I started out saying, do people really want relationships? People are saying, I'm done. Actually, I don't want to have this. And we heard this talk last week as well. People saying, you know, it's too difficult to engage. I'm feeling lonely. But there is an instinctive urge, obviously, to procreate. So we want to find a mate. Leanne, what you were saying early on is absolutely validated by research in that because today of dating apps, we have too many choices. But what it shows as well, what the research is showing, is that the more choice you have, the unhappier you are. So there's a sense of regret. It's like, okay, I'm going to commit to you, or I'm going to hang out with you, or make you my person. But I also know, as you said, that there's so many others. So I'm always dissatisfied, and I'm not really committed to being with you because I know I could be happier with somebody else. And so that relationship ends, and then you move on to the next one, and then find, well, I'm not really that happy because it could be the grass is greener, I could go to somebody else. So we have a sense of a generation of people who feel unhappy. And that's where the loneliness comes into it as well. Yeah.
Question I have with regards to that, is it a generational thing, only applicable to this day and age, or is it a natural human thing that when you're given choice, you tend to be unhappy because choice kind of boggles your mind?
Exactly.
While you think about that quickly, let's take a caller, shall we?
All right, let's do that.
Anonymous is on the line. Good morning, Anonymous.
Hi.
Good morning.
Hallo, kan ek maar Afrikaans praat?
Jy kan maar Afrikaans praat.
Okay, ek wil net weet om die partners professional te ontmoet, nee. Is dit veilig as kan jy dit op Facebook doen? Is dit veilig?
As mens wat doen?
As jy jou partner ontmoet op Facebook.
Op Facebook. So online dating or meeting your partner online. Is it safe? You can offer your perspective on that, Dr. Eve.
Thank you for that, because this is such an important issue that has come in and actually coloured the entire face of dating and finding a partner. We have moved into a place of I am afraid. And you heard this beautifully from this caller now. Is it safe? We've grown up in a culture now where we feel romance is not safe, which is one of the reasons why people are afraid and are not meeting people in online and in real life as well. Because there is this rape culture, the story of I don't really know who you are, and I'm very afraid if I meet up with you in real life that you could be dangerous to me. There isn't the story of I know some history about you, there is somebody who knows somebody, and therefore I feel safe with you. And so people just are saying, I'm not going out and I'm not going to be meeting because it doesn't feel safe. So romance is not really romantic anymore. The whole nature, the whole definition of what romance is has changed. That's like the big change.
And that's why you have that show Catfished, because do you know if the person you're talking to is real?
Is real.
The pictures you see.
Exactly.
You know, or is it somebody pretending to be something that they actually are not?
So what's been very interesting for me, because I am so interested in what happens technologically and watching people's intimate lives online, is I've seen how there's been such a push, like about 10 years ago when the whole online dating thing really began. People were like pushing, this is the place to meet, this is the only place to meet. And it started out with people feeling really stigmatized, like I'm a loser if I have to get onto a dating site or get onto a dating app. It shows I'm a loser because I can't meet people in real life. And there was a push to encourage people, no, it's safe, get online, this is the only way to meet. And so there was this entire world that went online, and that became, like, I think 43 to 50% of people today are meeting and have relationships because they met online. And now there's almost like a backlash against that. And there's a sense of, we need to get back to meeting in real life. And that's what we've seen over here as well. People are desperate to meet in real life rather than just rely on dating sites because it feels too commodified, too objectifying. Actually, it feels not really unsafe, but you feel as if you become a different person who you don't like. You become rude, you become sexist, you become racist. It's difficult.
But how real are we on social media in any case?
I was about to say, like, it seems like the perfect solution to this whole problem is to go, do that. More often than not during the day, and then you'll find yourself possibly having to leave the house more often.
There we go.
You think, oh, well, I've got to go do grocery shopping because I've been chowing, like, you know...
Click and collect.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I've been eating, so now I need to go and walk somewhere or drive somewhere, and then you walk and you're like, Oh, hi, you're also shopping for celery. What's your name?
Exactly. Their cat has just given us a beautiful example of how we should be meeting people in real life. Talk to people in line.
There's nothing like meeting somebody who loves Avo as much as you do.
The question is, do we? You know, do we feel comfortable enough to make those interactions in real life? But we'll talk more about that after this. How do people meet potential partners today, you ask? Do you think you know how to seal the deal? Or do you find that your romantic prospects fizzle out as quickly as they begin? 021-430-9881 is the number you need to call. We'll be right back after the break.
Imagine telling the kids, oh, we met over guacamole. Oh, beautiful.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Your Feel Good Breakfast Show is live, large and in charge on its Monday morning. Thank you so much. So good to have your company. Dr. Eve is here, relationship expert, and we're talking about the way in which people meet each other these days in order to date. So how do you go about it? Tell us. Do you go online? Do you meet people in real life? Or are you like the 39% on Dr. Eve's poll that people just say, we've given up? 021-430-9881. And we were touching on this, I think, in one of our last conversations that we had. People feel so lonely because they have these phones that connect them to everything. And you were saying research now shows that a lot of people are just saying that we don't want to date anymore.
Yeah, well, it's just too difficult to actually have that because the romance has gone out of the whole dating thing. What is romance? Romance means that you have to be really vulnerable. People are feeling scared, as we heard from the caller. I'm feeling scared to be vulnerable. I don't know how much of myself to reveal or to expose. So that's why we're going back into it feels way safer if you meet in real life. Why? Because you have cues. We can see the person, we can smell the person. We actually can see physically if this person is turning towards us, leaning forward, or moving away from us. Is there interest? Isn't there interest? It feels safer this way than being online.
I also think that there's this whole uncertainty around expectation from both sides. Like I could get invited on a date. I think the guy might feel a little trepidatious because he's like, what's she going to expect? I just want to have a date. She might want a relationship. So there's going to be a problem. So then we just don't go out on the date, or we meet for a coffee, or and then I might not want to go on the date because I know he's not looking for a relationship, but he wants to hook up. So now we're all just uncomfortable because why can't we just go on a date and see where things go without him being afraid I'm going to think I want more and me knowing he doesn't really want anything.
Are we all just afraid to say how we feel?
Exactly right. There isn't enough honesty around at all. That is one of the big problems.
Why is that?
So, because we're afraid of like really being seen, of really being vulnerable. We're afraid of being rejected. So nobody wants to feel that way. So what do? Is that we get lonely, we get depressed, we get anxious, and that's like not a good thing because we long for the social connection, as we spoke about last week, that is so utterly important to be able to have somebody who you feel is your person. But that becomes and that leads to lack of commitment, and when there isn't commitment we don't feel safe, and then we feel anxious, and so it becomes an unhealthy space.
So if the problem is we no longer know how to meet properly, to court properly for the relationship to then have meaning, what is the solution?
The solution is that we should be meeting people for the purpose of not having a relationship. That's step number one. And also step number two, you shouldn't be meeting somebody for the purpose of having sex. You want
hit the nail on the head.
You want to meet people for the sake of socially engaging, socially interacting, and finding friendship. Finding people that you really can hang out with without this incredible burden of pressure and expectation. Because we've got two kinds of pressures. The one is, as you were alluding to, Leanne, is that we're going to have sex, or else we're going to have this thing called relationship. And this thing called relationship means exhaustion. It's like I don't have time for it because we have an expectation of what I call the escalator. We have a date, then we have to have another date. That means that I then have to devote myself entirely to you. That means I give up everything else in my life. That means that I can't have friends and I can't have any activities. It's like, I don't want that. I still want to have myself. And so people just say, I'm done. I don't want to have this dating thing. Yes, go ahead.
Let's take a call.
Yes, we're going all the way to PE.
Hi.
Good morning, Teresa from PE. I hear you have some tips for us.
Go ahead. Want some tips?
Hi.
Ja, I just believe that one mustn't go looking for love, you know. I believe love will find you.
Yeah.
And I also very firmly believe that what must be will be, you know. So, yeah.
I love it.
Interesting.
You remind me of that song, I know love will find a way.
I'm sorry, the only reason I'm on my phone is
why
I
are you on
love
the phone?
screen grabbing, and I found something that just blew my mind. I don't think I screen grabbed it.
No, you don't want to be showing that. Put it away, put it away, put it away.
Anyways, but it was basically, you need to become
Teresa.
comfortable
Yeah.
with being alone, because
Yeah.
you'll never know if you are dating somebody because you're lonely
Yeah.
or because you're truly ready to be
Well,
in a
I think it depends
relationship.
on the intention of what the date is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If the date is, as I've said, because you just really want to have some sexual activity, that's cool, as long as there's consent and both of you are in agreement around that.
And I was just thinking,
Yes.
with what you said earlier on, just, going out and
Yes.
being social with people for the
Yes.
sake of developing friendship and being
Very
social. Some
much
people might be
so.
like out there thinking, oh, but I don't want to be in the friend zone. But the
Yeah.
truth about it is that I think, and I'm no relationship expert, but if I think of the long haul game, right? Once
Yeah.
the butterflies are done, the beautiful rough is done, the fire is extinguished, so to speak. I didn't want to drop that bomb.
How did it go?
No, stop. Once that is done,
Yes.
the friend zone is where you want to be. You want to be with somebody with whom you can chill for like hours and hours,
Yeah.
talk, banter, laugh, cry, and you don't feel
Be
uncomfortable
vulnerable.
in that space.
Right, so
and
what
what
we're
is
not
that
doing-
than a friendship?
Yeah, we're not giving ourselves time to do that. So
Yeah,
this is one of the tips that I'm going to say to people. Besides, the first tip is go out with people for the sake of just engaging,
Yeah.
not because you're looking for either the sex
Yeah.
or because you want to have this true love.
Yeah.
And the second one is really just hang out a little longer. Because we're so commodified and objectified on dating sites, we're chosen because of the way that we look or the status that we present ourselves with. Hang out with somebody,
Yeah.
get to know them. Don't just reject them straight away because you think there are 5 million other people. There are. But just rather hang out and enjoy that process of being present with somebody and being vulnerable without any expectation, escalator or pressure
Yeah.
to be anything else.
Invest yourself in those moments and look forward to the next time. Like,
and don't do it. Do things together. Go and have people don't really date anymore. They hang out, So you asked, is dating a big thing? Dating is a big thing. If somebody says to a young person, I'm picking you up for a date, people are like, what? This is so foreign. This is an amazing experience for me to actually be taken on a date or to take somebody on a date, because it's usually just hanging out, then there is this looseness and who am I, and what kind of situation it is. Do things together. Meet for a walk. Meet to go for a swim. Meet to go for a surf. Meet to go and find a vegetable garden or go to a food market. Do something different.
Yeah.
Don't just meet because you want to have a drink, because there are connotations associated with that, and then the disappointment, expectations, and you feel not happy after the so-called date. Just let's dump dating in
I love that.
Try the line in the club. Is it okay if I see you tomorrow for breakfast? Try that and see how it works. I'm just saying, like, wouldn't you be refreshingly surprised if he said, listen...
In the club?
Yeah, in the club. He's like, I think you're really cool. Can I meet you tomorrow for lunch? And then, you know what I mean?
Amazing.
And then he like, cool, shot, out.
Yeah, but what about...
I don't know if I'll be meeting him in the club, but anyways.
Yeah.
If you were to meet him in the
Maybe
club.
Yeah. But also we want to have equity here, so we want women also to be initiating, because men are pretty vulnerable.
Yeah.
Men are afraid of rejection. Why must they carry the burden
Absolutely.
of initiating all the
Hectic
time?
out there, man.
Yeah, why must they be the one who
out there,
kind of
queen.
seal the deal?
Get your man.
Yeah.
Get your man. All right, on that bombshell, thank you very much, babe. We'll do this again next week. Get your man.